For much of the 20th and early 21st centuries, Western powers, led by the United States and Europe, held sway over global trade, finance, and diplomacy. Their influence shaped the rules of the international system, setting the agenda for economic development and political alliances around the world. But now, a profound shift is underway, led by a coalition known as BRICS. This group is challenging the established order and signaling a new era in global power dynamics. Originally coined as an economic acronym for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and later South Africa, BRICS has evolved into a formidable alliance. It now represents not just emerging economies, but a powerful coalition determined to challenge U.S. and Western dominance on the world stage. BRICS aims to reshape global governance by offering developing nations a real alternative to Western-led institutions like the IMF and World Bank. These organizations, while providing financial support, often impose strict political and economic conditions on their loans, sometimes at the expense of national sovereignty. The group's mission is rooted in a quest for strategic autonomy and a belief that the era of a unipolar world, dominated by a single superpower, is coming to an end. BRICS envisions a multipolar world where influence is more evenly distributed. BRICS acts as a platform for rising powers to coordinate economic and political policies, amplify their collective influence, and support each other's growth. One of their key strategies is to reduce reliance on the US dollar in international trade and finance. By promoting the use of local currencies and developing alternative financial systems, BRICS directly challenges the dominance of the American dollar and the financial leverage it provides the US over global markets. This ambitious de-dollarization effort signals that a new economic order is not just possible, it's already being built brick by brick as BRICS nations invest in new institutions, infrastructure, and partnerships that could redefine the future of global power. One of the most unexpected and significant developments in the ongoing expansion of BRICS is the growing interest from two European Union members, Hungary and Slovakia, who are now openly exploring the possibility of joining the bloc. This move is not just a diplomatic curiosity, it signals a potential realignment in the global balance of power, as countries traditionally anchored in the Western sphere look eastward for new opportunities and alliances. Both Hungary and Slovakia have frequently found themselves at odds with Brussels, especially on issues of national sovereignty, migration, and economic policy. For them, BRICS represents more than just another international club. It's a chance to diversify their diplomatic and economic partnerships, and to assert a greater degree of independence from the dominant influence of the EU and the United States. Even the prospect of a non-binding partnership or observer status with BRICS sends a powerful message to the world. It highlights the shifting dynamics of international relations, where countries are increasingly willing to look beyond traditional alliances in search of new opportunities and leverage. For Hungary and Slovakia, the potential benefits are substantial. Access to BRICS markets, increased investment flows, and a seat at a new global decision-making table could help boost their economies and raise their international profiles. These incentives are hard to ignore, especially as global economic power continues to shift. This bold move directly challenges the EU's unity and cohesion. If successful, it could set a precedent for other EU members who may also be seeking alternative alliances or greater autonomy in their foreign policy decisions. If more EU states begin to cultivate allegiances with rival blocs like BRICS, it could paralyze the EU's ability to act cohesively on the world stage, undermining its foreign policy and diminishing its global credibility at a critical time. Now Brussels faces a defining question. Is the European project still compelling and resilient enough to keep its members united, or will the lure of new alliances in a rapidly fragmenting world prove too strong to resist? BRICS's transformation from a coalition of 5 ambitious nations into a global powerhouse has been nothing short of remarkable. What began as a loose partnership between Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa has evolved into a dynamic force reshaping the world order. Their journey from regional players to a unified global coalition has been both rapid and highly strategic, marked by bold decisions and a shared vision for a multipolar world. The pivotal Kazan summit in 2024 marked a turning point as Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, and the UAE officially joined the group, signaling BRICS's intent to broaden its influence beyond its original members. The following year, Indonesia's entry further expanded BRICS's reach, connecting the bloc to new markets and strategic regions across Africa, the Middle East, and Southeast Asia, and making it a truly global alliance. At the Rio summit, BRICS introduced a new partner country model, allowing nations like Vietnam, Nigeria, and Malaysia to collaborate closely with the group without requiring full membership, opening the door for even broader cooperation. Today, BRICS Plus represents an astonishing 44% of global GDP, PPP, and more than half of the world's population, making it one of the most influential economic and political blocs on the planet. This expansion is no accident. It's a calculated move to secure control over vital resources and trade routes, from Egypt's Suez Canal to Iran's vast energy reserves and beyond. Each new member and partner strengthens BRICS's influence in critical regions and sectors, amplifying its voice on the global stage and diversifying its economic and political power. No longer just a club of emerging economies, BRICS has become a true supergroup, one that now stands as the leading representative of the global South, championing the interests of developing nations worldwide. As BRICS continues to grow, its decisions and actions increasingly shape the future of the world, impacting the lives and destinies of a majority of humanity. BRICS's appeal boils down to three motivations: economic opportunity, political influence, and strategic autonomy. Access to massive markets and funding from the new development bank offers a path to growth without Western conditions. Politically, BRICS gives nations a stronger voice in shaping global rules and reforms. The bloc's collective bargaining power is especially attractive to those marginalized by the West. Most importantly, BRICS offers a third way, a non-aligned path for countries wary of choosing between the U.S. and China. Vietnam's recent partnership with BRICS shows how nations can balance ties with both East and West while protecting their independence. This multi-alignment strategy is seen as the smartest way to navigate today's complex world. BRICS's rise is a masterclass in modern diplomacy, watched closely by countries everywhere. BRICS membership brings real, tangible benefits that are reshaping economies. The new development bank funds infrastructure and development, often in local currencies, shielding members from dollar volatility. The contingent reserve arrangement acts as a $100 billion safety net, offering liquidity during crises, without the strings attached by the IMF. Trade and investment within BRICS are booming, with reduced barriers and new payment systems bypassing Western networks. Members like Egypt and the UAE gain better market access and investment opportunities across the bloc. BRICS is also advancing cooperation in technology, health, and tax policy, shifting global discussions to more inclusive forums like the UN. The group's unified stance on international tax reform gives developing countries a bigger say in global rules. BRICS is building a resilient economic architecture for a multipolar world. BRICS stands apart from Western blocs like the G7 and EU in both philosophy and structure. The G7 is a club of wealthy democracies, while the EU is a deeply integrated supranational entity. BRICS, by contrast, is a coalition of diverse political systems united by a desire to reform an inequitable global order. Its strength lies in flexibility and respect for sovereignty, attracting nations wary of binding alliances. While the G7 and EU focus on preserving the status quo, BRICS is building parallel institutions and financial systems. The bloc's disruptive agenda is about creating new infrastructure and reducing dependence on the West. BRICS convenes to build consensus among the disenfranchised, not just coordinate among allies. The future of global governance is being shaped by this fundamental clash of visions. BRICS's rapid rise has alarmed Washington and Brussels, forcing a major reassessment. The U.S., especially under Trump, has responded with threats of tariffs on BRICS members and those participating in de-dollarization. This confrontational approach risks reinforcing BRICS's narrative of U.S. economic coercion. The EU faces an existential crisis as Hungary and Slovakia consider BRICS, sparking debates on how to prevent further fragmentation. Some EU leaders push for a hard line, others for flexibility, but internal cohesion is under strain. Western responses often miss the genuine appeal of BRICS, a more equitable, representative global system. Threats and lectures may only drive more countries toward BRICS, validating their grievances. The more the West resists multipolarity, the more it fuels its own declining influence. BRICS's continued expansion could fundamentally reshape global power. We're entering a world with competing operating systems, one led by the U.S. and its allies, the other by BRICS+. Global institutions will become battlegrounds for influence, requiring real negotiation and compromise. The days of unilateral Western decisions are ending. A more democratic, multipolar approach is emerging. Economically, supply chains and financial systems will fragment, forcing countries and companies to adapt. Regional trading zones and local currencies will rise, reducing dollar dominance. Ideologically, BRICS's model of non-interference and diverse governance is attractive to many in the global south. The world is moving beyond the Western political model as the only path to prosperity. BRICS's rise isn't just a geopolitical story. It affects people everywhere. Consumers may see new brands and shifting trade patterns, while currency volatility could impact daily life. For developing nations, BRICS offers hope, investment, infrastructure, and a stronger voice on the world stage. But increased competition between blocs could also bring risks: fragmentation, protectionism, and even conflict. Navigating this new era will require wise leadership to keep competition constructive. The 20th century world is over. We're entering a more complex, contested, and post-Western era. Understanding this transformation is essential for everyone facing the uncertain century ahead.